So what's the secret that Jesus understood so well? Well, we've broken it down into 3 parts. Part 1, he didn't beg for devotion. Now, that might seem obvious, but most of us spend our lives doing exactly that. See, Jesus didn't gain followers by giving people what they wanted to hear. How do you challenge people without hurting them? Well, it starts with understanding. You must understand where they're coming from, what their fears are, what their doubts are. This isn't about charisma. This isn't about popularity. This is about connection, real connection. Choose one person in your life and see them. Really see them. Look past their flaws, past their mistakes, past their labels. Look into their eyes and tell them what you see. Tell them their potential, their greatness, their impact. Then stand firm in who you are. Live as if you know you're worthy, even if you don't feel it. Walk away from what doesn't align. Challenge people with love, with compassion. And when you do these 3 things, when you stop chasing after people, when you stand firm in who you are, and when you challenge them with love, that's when devotion turns into legacy. And that's the secret to unshakable devotion. And that connection comes from being real about who you are, what you believe in, and what you're willing to stand for. Now, I know this might be hard to hear, but it's the truth. The secret to devotion isn't in what you say, it's in who you are. It's in your energy, your presence, your commitment to your purpose. That's what attracts people. That's what draws them in. That's what makes them want to follow you. Not because they have to, not because they feel obligated, but because they choose to. They choose to because they see you. They see who you are, what you believe in, and what you stand for. Only then can you speak to those doubts, to those fears. Only then can you challenge them in a way that resonates. But here's the hard part. You must also understand yourself. You must know your purpose, your values, your boundaries. Only then can you stand firm in your truth. Only then can you challenge them without compromising yourself. And when you do this, when you challenge them with love, with compassion, with a genuine desire for their growth, that's when devotion turns into legacy. He gave them the truth, even when it challenged them, even when it offended them. And that's the key to building unshakable devotion. But here's the truth. The world doesn't reward authenticity, at least not always. The world rewards what's popular, what's trendy, what's comfortable. But if you're looking to build real devotion, if you want to create real connections, then you must be willing to go against the current. You must be willing to swim upstream, to go against the flow, to be authentic, to be vulnerable, to be real. And when you do, when you dare to be real in a world that rewards artificiality, when you dare to challenge people with love in a world that celebrates comfort, when you dare to see people for who they can be in a world that labels and judges them, that's when you discover the secret to unshakable devotion. You don't water down your truth to keep people happy. You're willing to lose them to stay true. Now, I know this sounds counterintuitive. Isn't the goal to keep people in? Shouldn't you avoid challenging them? Wouldn't it be easier to just go with the flow? Well, yes, it would. But here's the reality. If you're afraid to lose people, you'll never truly lead them. And here's the miracle. When people realize you care more about their growth than their comfort, that's when devotion turns into legacy. We beg for approval, for validation, for acceptance. We put ourselves out there, hoping someone will take notice, hoping someone will like us, trying to earn that devotion. But Jesus never had to do that. He didn't have to convince people to follow him. Something inside him drew people in. Why? Because he knew that real devotion isn't something you chase. It's something you attract. And the secret to attracting devotion is simple. You must first believe you're worthy of it. That's the first step. Believe it, even if you don't feel it. Act as if you're worthy, even if you don't see the results. As you do, something inside you shifts. Your energy changes. And when you walk into a room, people sense it. They feel it. They might not be able to put it into words, but something about you is different, and that difference draws people in. Now, this might sound self-centered, but it's not. This is called alignment. When you're operating from a place of alignment, you become a magnet for the right people. And this is the key to building unshakable devotion. You don't convince people you're worthy. You live as if you already know you are. Part 2. Jesus didn't just stand firm. He saw people in a way no one else did. You see, Jesus knew that we all want to be seen. We want to be seen for who we are, for what we're capable of, for the impact we can make. But most of the time we're not seen. We're labeled, we're judged, we're written off. But Jesus didn't do that. He saw potential where others saw limitations. He saw value where others saw flaws. And he spoke to that potential, to that value. And when people realized they were seen, they responded. Why? Because deep down we all want to be seen. We want to be believed in. We want to be lifted up. And when someone does that for us, we owe them a piece of our devotion. Now, how do you apply this? Look around you. Who needs to be seen? Who needs to be believed in? Who needs to be lifted up? And then do it. Don't wait for someone else to do it. Be the first to see their potential, to speak into their greatness, to reflect back who they can be. When you do, watch what happens. You'll create connections that run deeper than anything you've ever experienced. Now, this might seem simple, but it's profound. Seeing people is one of the most powerful things you can do. It creates bonds that transcend social norms, that defy logic and reason, that touch the very core of the human experience. And when you give this gift freely and genuinely, people won't be able to understand why they can't get you off their mind. And that's the secret to building unshakable devotion. You don't chase after people. You stand firm in who you are and you see them for who they can be. Now, the third part of the secret is that Jesus didn't just stand firm or see people. He sacrificed his approval for their growth. Now, the question is, how do you do this? Now, I know this might not make sense right now. It goes against everything you think you know about leadership, about relationships, about success. But here's the final piece of the puzzle. This isn't about manipulation. So here's your challenge.